Welcome to Mr. Giant Reacts and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant, and today we're going to watch another one of the Fred Dibnah stories. And this one is called Ladder in a Chimney. This is part two. I do believe I did part one before, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did. But anyway, let's get into here and see what old Fred Dibnah was up to back in the day when he was climbing them big tall buildings. And it's like watching the tightrope people, you know what I mean, death defying, and only he doesn't have a pole, he just have his strength. Let's YouTube and simmer.
Now it's now in the right position for fixing onto the sockets at the bottom. And of course you see how close to the top of it's being held against the wall by the man on the floor. Very important that the man on the floor is you've got his whole concentration all the time, That's why it's better using an older man than a younger man who has a tendency to wander off looking at ladies' skirts and things. Because if he disappears, you fall off.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a second man there, he's got to be important. He's got to be focused. He can't be like, looking around or doing anything like that. And I'm assuming that on a lot of his jobs, he's got somebody at the bottom, looking out for him and stuff. Now, think about the dude who is in the bottom. He's looking up the whole time, making sure he's all right. I would be scared to look away, in case I do something wrong and cause him to fall down. But you have to have somebody who could just stand there and be focused and check the vibe out to make sure everything is all right. Now, you have to trust that person too, you know what I mean? But it seems like if Fred Dibnah trusts himself way more than he trusts anybody else, because he's doing all this stuff pretty much by hand, for lack of a better term. There's no modern technology type stuff, you know what I mean? Just all by hand. So he pretty much trusts himself to do the job so that, he knows he's got it done right.
That's the second ladder up, and that's what it's all about. Well, almost up.
Man.
This method of laddering factory chimneys is quite a recent sort of invention, like 1870s period. A bit before then, they actually flew kites to get string across the tops of chimneys, right, weird situation. I think when they were, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, when they started to erect chimney stacks, nobody gave it a great deal of thought as to how they were going to get up there to repair the things. Because, of course, they were all built from the inside, more or less right, from the beginning of building fairly large ones to building the really monstrous things that there are today at power stations. Like the early ones, 1820s, were only like 60 and 50 feet high. And of course, they could build them with a conventional scaffold around the outside because they were of no great girth, To circumnavigate the wall of that chimney, which might be 60 odd feet circumference with scaffolding, is going to cost a heck of a lot of money, That's why I think steeplejacks have still can earn a crust of bread, It is one of the good and reliable ways of getting up there,
No, I'm always amazed, the strength it takes, especially, because he's got to have the ladder pulled up, and then he's got to take the ladder and set it against there and tie it. And mind you, he can't step on the ladder because it's not secure. So he's got to stand there with this ladder and get it up there and hold it there and tie it down. So then that's a lot of weight on top of him. So I wonder if it's more the understanding of angles than it is strength, or is it both? And he got both superior understanding of the angles he could take so it wouldn't tilt and fall over, and the strength of keeping it in the right angle so you could get the ladders up there. Now, it looks, a lot of people might look at it and say, well, if it wasn't for the height, it would be simple, but There's a lot of thinking to do. He's got the mind of an engineer, people. So that's his harness. He sticks his foot behind the ladder. Yep, that's what's holding him up. Wow.
Basically, having got the second ladder up, you've more or less conquered it in a way, how you actually do the job. The thing is, you just keep repeating the process. 9 rungs from the top, 2 lashings on the bottom and 2 dogs, and up it comes. And all as you're up there with is your hammer, your chisel, plugwood, and the end of the pulley wheel and the rope. The important thing not to do is let the rope run through the block and go tumbling down, which means that you've got to come down and get the end of the rope and carry the thing up, which 200 foot of hemp rope is fairly heavy, and by the time you've got back to the top with it, you're getting a bit out of breath. The other thing is, the higher up you get and the harder it gets, because of course the guy at the bottom has got to pull the ladder up further, and you've got to send the end of the rope down further. So the progression towards the top as you get higher it slows down a bit.
Okay, I see what he's doing.
This basically is an inspection to give a quote for any forthcoming repairs that need sorting out. Over the years, the first job I ever did were above the collar, the 10 feet of brickwork above the collar. I put some new iron bands round and pointed it all, and a new lightning conductor on. Then on subsequent visits, I pointed all the panel work round the top 30 feet. And now from the sailing course below that to below the green and white banded area of tile bricks, it's badly in need of pointing, so I'm going to give them an estimate to do that.
He has to be a master knot tire, man, because it looks like when he put the ladder up initially, it's just the rope holding it, and he's climbing on top of it. So there's nothing on the very top one to clasp it into the wall. So he's pretty much, wow. Maybe that's why he's leaned forward like this more so. Like in this shot here, because if he moves back, he's got to rely on them knots to work good. You see, then again, it comes back to him doing it himself, so he knows exactly that it's getting done right.
That's a bit of old-time steeplejack's plugwood, If we knock that in there, will be dead and gone, without a doubt. Quite rotten, These batches I pointed up, they were some very poor quality steeplejacks, damaged the brickwork, didn't know how to work an hammer and chisel.
He's so comfortable up there, man. He's just talking to the camera.
Leave the ladders there until you've come to the financial arrangement with the management about whether they're going to have it done or not, which saves you having to put the ladders up again. The thing is that having secured the contract, if we're going to do it, we've then got to put what's termed as a staging round the top.
You missed and hit your hand up there and that hurt. Woo. Man, he's up there.
Hear it how it's addled, holler, It's a shame, really.
I would like to know how the cameraman is getting up there.
Getting near the top, it's always like that,
Oh, there's a crane.
I think this time a few iron bands might be called for. to screw it together a bit.
Hey, dude, you're just really comfortable up there.
Bit of me pointing come out up there on them big copings. Can you see it? 6 inches off the lightning conductor. Not bad that though, it's a long time since I did it.
This is crazy, man. I might climb up that ladder.
Some of them are loose.
Oh.
It's a trifle huddled around that area. I don't think the full 9-inch headers, they're only halves, you know. Well, an header is a brick on end, like that should be. But I don't think it is. It wouldn't sound as holler if it were a full 9-inch brick going in. It's only half of one, I think. I'm only surmising. These are my dog holes that support my scaffold when I'm putting the scaffolding up.
I bet the change in the color of bricks would be a little bit discombobulated.
When you sat on top of there, like king of the castle, the view used to be quite interesting in this area. There were numerous collieries, the last of which disappeared a few months ago, and lots of mill chimneys, and I think you can see about 4 left now out of all of them, out of dozens and dozens. Not very far away there's the parish church of Atherton, which has got a distinct list on it through the mining subsidence.
He's also a historian, it seems.
Well, that's it now. We've nearly conquered it. The north face of the Eiger.
Man. That's up there. I don't know if I'd go up there in a crane either. Well, old Fred did not disappoint. Wow. That's crazy. That's real crazy. Anyway, man, I'll leave a link in the description to this video. Y'all can go check it out for yourself and, see what old Fred is doing here. You know what I mean? But y'all take care of each other. Stay warm. Cool runnings.